ABL Media Center highlight.
I now have the honor of introducing someone who is an incredible living repository of history. Dr. Edward Irons is 90 years old. That accomplishment is major, but it's secondary to his many other accomplishments as an educator, a banker, and an entrepreneur. There are so many people who have walked down the halls of Atlanta University and Clark Atlanta University who certainly know that their lives have been made better because they were able to interact with Dr. Irons. Now, please learn more about his very fabulous life of this incredible man by watching the video feature created for us by the Atlanta Business League member company, American Technologies.
Veteran, educator, businessman, Dr. Edward D. Irons has served the people for over 7 decades. Edward Irons had his first experience fighting for his rights. While recovering from rheumatic fever, he and several other patients organized a sit-in to protest segregation in the hospital.
Now, we didn't know the title, sit-in. All we knew, we were going to go in and sit in at those tables just like the white veterans.
While in negotiations with the leadership of the hospital, Edward Irons was transferred to another VA hospital.
They sent me to Hines, Illinois Veterans Hospital. They said I was a troublemaker. And of course, 2 weeks after I got to Hines, Illinois, I got a call from one of the 7. And they said, well, they have changed the policies. We no longer have to go into the back door or sit in segregated areas.
Following his service in the Navy, Irons joined the bus boycott movement in Tallahassee, Florida. During that time, blacks looked to purchasing their own vehicles as an alternative means of transportation, but banks were denying them loans.
A group of us got together and said, let's create our own bank. And I said, I'm going to go back to school, get a doctorate in finance, and study how to create a bank.
Edward Irons received his PhD in finance at Harvard University. He then moved to Houston, Texas, where he co-founded and organized Riverside National Bank.
Riverside National Bank was the first national bank to be granted to black Americans in the prior 40 years in the United States.
Irons served as the founding dean of Howard University School of Business and consultant to dozens of organizations around the globe. He's also taught and served as dean at Clark Atlanta University. There, he helped the program to become reaccredited.
From the time I could think for myself, I was unhappy with the social mores of this country. And so when I encountered an opportunity to try to do something about it, we did it.
Dr. Edward D. Irons, the Atlanta Business League thanks you for your service to the people and welcome you to the 2014 Men of Influence Legends Hall of Fame.
First, I want to make one correction that Mr. Milton Jones said about me. He said I was 90 years old. In 2 months, I'll be 91. This is a distinct honor for me, particularly since I received a similar award from the National Business League 35 years ago. And so when I realized that they were going to honor me tonight, I was really happy to see this kind of honor. I just want to say that God has blessed me to live for 90 years, 91 years, but I am not finished. There are a number of things on my agenda to do before I hang up my shingles. So keep your ear to the ground. I think you will hear about some of them, one of which was my most recent milestone. I recently published my life story in a memoirs, and I titled it Only by Grace. And the reason I gave it that title is that throughout my 90 years of service, I've been privileged to be honored by 12 national organizations, and therefore I feel that I have been blessed, and along the way, no matter how smart I thought I was, life has its way of knocking one down and allowing him to get up, and I think that was God in my plan. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here tonight. So I thank you, Atlanta Business League. I hope that you will continue to render the service that you are rendering, and your president, Leona Davenport, I've watched her over the years. She's done a yeoman job with this organization, and she deserves the applaud of this audience. I'm sure she remembers Berkeley Burrell, who was the national president when they honored me 35 years ago. So congratulations to you, and I hope that you continue to do the yeoman-like service that you've done over the years. Thank you.
Thank you for watching this ABL Media Center highlight. Please return often as we are continually updating our ABL Media Center showcase.